Hello, thank you for joining us today for the next webinar in our What's New series. In today's webinar, we'll cover some of the newest features in Microsoft 365 that you can implement in your business, as well as covering some brand new features that give us a bit of an insight into the future that may not be available just yet, but are in the roadmap. Don't feel like you need to make notes or take it all in straight away, as we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar and a follow-up fact sheet later today. Also, if you have any questions, please do feel free to drop those into the Q&A box at any time. I'll do my best to try and keep an eye on those as we go along, and there will also be a time for dedicated questions at the end. So let's take a look at what's on the agenda for today. I think today's webinar is going to be focused on quite a few little small updates that are more simple than some of the things we usually cover in these webinars. There's no hefty updates that are covered in big releases. These are all updates to things that are already existing that you'll be able to simply use straight away. It seems like even Microsoft have a summer holiday and don't do anything too hefty over August. So in today's webinar, we've got updated sharing and activity options in OneDrive, folders and rule support in Outlook, expanded video delivery and gallery view in Teams, custom downloaded locations for Teams files, Teams meeting updates, Microsoft Viva Insights updates, and the Bedrock Security Review Workshop. Finally, we'll be finishing up with what's next and how you can sign up for the next webinar in this series. Let's start with a welcome for those of you who may not have been at one of these webinars before. My name's Jennifer Benge and I am the Marketing Manager at Bedrock. Bedrock is an IT managed service provider and Microsoft Gold partner. This means that most of the IT we implement is based on the Microsoft stack, which includes Microsoft 365, Teams, Azure, etc. We're also experts in secure, resilient networks and managed IT solutions where high performance is critical. So we work with organisations that have some of the highest security requirements in the UK. The most important thing we want to achieve, no matter what your organisation does, is to help your business grow better. We do this with the help of our 8 rocks, which you can see on the screen here. These 8 rocks are skills, data, backup, strategy, investment, security, quality of service, and finally collaboration. The collaboration rock is the focus of today's webinar. We find that many people that we speak to, that we work with, have Teams and other collaboration tools within Microsoft 365, but aren't using them to their full capacity. So that's why we implemented these webinars to help you stay up to date with new releases that you can quite simply and easily implement in your business that could make a real difference to the way you work straight away. So let's get started on the first of our updates. We're looking at OneDrive first. To mark its 15th anniversary of OneDrive, Microsoft is introducing 4 new features. There have been many iterations of OneDrive since it was released in 2007, and this is just its latest facelift that will also implement some new features that will make it easier to use, just to make it a bit more user-friendly in general. OneDrive is getting a new homepage. This will become the new default landing page when it's released. At the moment, when you log into your OneDrive account, by default, you'll land on your My Files page. Your My Files page houses your documents, pictures, and your files. The old version of the page listed the document's name, when it was last opened, modified, and the location, so the folder that it's in, and the document's size. The new style has a content feed that lists relevant files. This includes a cover preview of your documents, and it's also followed by the recent files section. So rather than just showing a standard layout of all your files in the same order all the time, it will show you the files that you've most recently accessed first in chronological order. Also, in this update to OneDrive, there will be a new column that shows the recent activity on that particular file, such as edits, mentions, and comments made by other authors who you might be collaborating with. This can be useful when you're resuming work and you want to catch up on the latest updates that have been made by your colleagues while you weren't logged in. The activity column will also be available under the My Files tab. So for an example of this new feature in action, it would alert you when someone shares a file or creates a task for you, or comments on a task, or when someone uses the app to mention you or any other collaborators that have been working on that document. The new version of OneDrive Home has a toolbar at the top of the file list that you can use to filter the files by type, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF. So it's really easy to do a quick search. If you know you're looking for a particular PDF fact sheet, for example, you can just search for your PDFs. So if you want to view just one file type, hit the relevant button and OneDrive will hide the rest of the document types. As part of this new navigation style, OneDrive is also getting a new side panel to the left called the Quick Access Bar. In this, you can pin important files and switch to them really quickly and easily. Both of these updates are very similar to File Explorer and the File Explorer sidebar feature. That if you're using the old school File Explorer view, you'll be used to these features, and this is just bringing those into the OneDrive on the web. So you've got that same functionality there. Microsoft says that these new OneDrive updates will be rolled out to users in the coming months, so start looking out for them soon. They may or not all appear at the same time, but you might gradually get implemented as we go through the next few months. The final new feature coming soon to OneDrive is an update to the file sharing menu item. This will soon have a drop-down menu to give you easy access to additional sharing options. When you select Share in OneDrive for Business on the Web, you will see a drop-down menu with all choices available to you for sharing files or folders with your teammates. So rather than having to click Share and then choose in a pop-up menu, it will be in a drop-down menu there, and you can choose the way you want to share. Microsoft has said this new feature is due pretty much now, so mid to late September. So it will probably happen before or separately to the other updates that we've just talked about with OneDrive. In this drop-down menu, you'll see the following options. There'll be Share Link, which will allow you to email or send a link directly to one or more participants. You'll be able to copy the link. So like you would do with a Teams file, for example, you can just copy the link and send it in whichever messaging service you want to use to share with the recipients directly. And there's also a Manage Access button, which allows you to view and manage who has access to your files or documents. So you can do this with a folder view, with a file view. It should make things a little bit quicker for sharing those files and folders with your colleagues. Next up, we've got improved folders and rules in Outlook on the web. So with this update to Outlook on the web, you'll have the ability to create folders and create rules inside a Microsoft 365 Groups mailbox. This update is due again around now. They're saying early September to mid-October, so it could be available for you. It might not be. They do tend to roll out in stages. But this update will not be enabled by default. So do look out for it when it becomes available if you think it would be useful in your organisation, as you will need an admin to enable it separately. So with this update, Microsoft 365 Groups users will be able to create folders inside the Groups section in Mail area of Outlook on the web. You'll be able to move and copy messages across different folders inside the group and groups and inside the Groups mailboxes as well. Microsoft are also releasing support for rules in Groups mailboxes. So with rules, you can automate the organisation of incoming Groups emails. So the kind of rules and grouping functionality that you have in your normal Outlook app is coming to Outlook on the web, and you'll be able to use it for your groups within Microsoft 365. So the similar functionality that you've got for your individual emails, for your personal emails, you'll now be able to manage your groups emails in the same way. Next up, another simple update that will be coming automatically. This is the expanded video gallery view in Microsoft Teams. So currently in Microsoft Teams meetings, the gallery view currently supports a maximum of 9 videos in a 3x3 configuration on the screen by default. For seeing more than 9 videos, it is possible at the moment, but you need to manually select the large gallery view. With this update, you'll automatically see up to 49 videos in a 7x7 configuration on your screen by default without any user intervention or having to click any separate buttons. The large gallery and gallery view will still exist as options. So if you'd rather not see this big clutter of everyone in the meeting and just focus on a few people at a time, you can still do that and choose it as your option. This is due late September to early October. So look out for it anytime now. Next up, another simple feature that I think this is probably my favourite of today, because I do tend to download things sometimes to work on them separately offline. And it can be quite annoying if your downloads folder suddenly becomes absolutely cluttered with loads of different files that you have to then file separately into their correct locations. So this is a custom download location update for Teams files. Currently, all file downloads from Microsoft Teams go into the downloads folder. Microsoft are releasing a new feature that enables you to choose a preferred download location for downloading files from Teams that you can choose to specify a location for each download. To enable this feature, there will be a new setting under the Settings and More menu. You just go to Settings and then Files. Use the sliding button that you can see in the screenshot there to be prompted to select a new location for each download. So in that way, when you're clicking to download things, it'll pop up saying where would you like it to go, just like in an old school sort of download situation, and you can choose which file you want it to go in then. These settings will only apply to the files downloaded after the setting is enabled, and it won't impact any files downloaded in the past, because obviously it won't know where you want those files to go. They'll just all still exist in your downloads folder if you haven't already moved them. This again is due early September to late October, so you might already have access to this update. I have to say I have checked and I don't yet, unfortunately. No priority for Microsoft partners with this, so yeah, just look out for it if you think it would be beneficial for you to start using. We've got a couple of other updates to Teams meetings this month. First of all, with the image on the left there, you can see that there is an update to meetings that are taking place on multiple devices. So for example, if you have joined a meeting on your laptop, suddenly you need to run out but still want to be in the meeting, you can move that meeting onto your Teams app on your mobile. When people have done this in the past, some users have reported problems in trying to fully disconnect from the meeting or call on all of their devices. With this new feature, there will now be an option displayed to multi-device users in a call that will prompt the user to leave the meeting or call from all devices when you select that option. So if you're running off from your laptop, you can select just to leave from that device, or if the meeting itself has ended and you happen to still have both devices open, you can leave all of them at the same time. This feature will be enabled for desktop, iOS and Android clients. Again, this is due anytime around now, so it might already be available or it might be coming to you very soon. The other update that we've got to Teams meetings is an update to live captioning. Today, you can select the spoken language that you want to see the live captions for, and those captions will be displayed in that language. When this new feature is released, if you've turned on live captions, you will see the menu options for live translated captions in the subtitles menu. The spoken language is selected for everyone in the meeting, while the translation language is just there for the user that selected it. This is due mid-September to early October, so again, coming soon. Really useful if you've got someone perhaps working in a different location, or English or whichever language the meeting is being conducted in isn't their first language. They can just have the subtitles there to help them out and keep up to date with what everyone's saying in that meeting. Our final update that we've got today is a selection of updates to Viva Insights. So the Viva Insights app in Microsoft Teams is getting a lot of user interface updates. The Viva Insights web homepage is also being updated, so it matches the view that you get of Viva Insights in the Teams app. The updated homepage includes an invitation to set up a personal focus plan. This just allows you to book time within your calendar for the current week, for following weeks, that allow you to have focus time or time to read your emails, or even sometimes it prompts you to have a 15-minute quiet reflection time at the end of your day to kind of switch off from work mode, especially if you've been working from home, and just it's kind of like a virtual commute type thing. In the future, this page will also include an invitation to set up quiet time to disconnect after hours, with mobile notifications for Teams and Outlook silenced. So I think we've all been guilty of this, where you've finished work for the day and suddenly you get a notification on your phone and you think, oh, actually, I'll just go back and deal with that because I don't want to do it tomorrow. This will kind of stop you seeing that notification in the first place, so that you're officially finished work for the day. When you're switching off, you don't want to be badgered by those notifications, because you can't truly relax if you're still got half an eye on your phone looking at those notifications coming in. So if your organisation is participating in kind of a staff wellbeing programme or has targets to hit in relation to staff wellbeing, that's something that would be really easy to implement as part of this new Viva Insights update, just to make sure that your staff are using these tools or know that these tools exist and are relevant for them to be using in their work lives, to make sure that their wellbeing is being cared for and they're not working too much after hours. And getting badgered by all these notifications that are part of our lives right now. The other area of improvement within Microsoft Viva Insights is within the Effective Meetings tab. With this tab, you'll now see the meeting category insights. Meeting categories in Outlook allow users to easily tag, label, and group their calendar events. So this gives you a visual aid to know what type of meeting is in your calendar. I know this got very popular from like a few years ago with Google Calendars. A lot of the productivity gurus out there were saying, you know, color code all of your blocks within your Google Calendar so you can see where your time is actually being swallowed up. Quite often we know that we're busy, but we're not sure where our time is being taken. So by color coding these events, you'll be able to really easily visually see where most of your time is being taken up. So, for example, you can see with this screenshot right now, the biggest block here is orange for the team meetings. So that's where this person's time is being taken up mostly. You can then use that either on an individual basis, you can keep an eye on it yourself, or work with any colleagues that might be working with you, to help analyse where best to spend that time if there are any changes that need to be made. Meeting category insights will allow you to understand where you're allocating your time across these categories. Users can view data from the last 3 months, the last 4 weeks, and the next 4 weeks. So even looking into the future, you can preempt where your time is going to be taken up, and plan ahead to either change some of that scheduling or just prepare yourself so that you're aware that this is where your time will be taken and you perhaps need help in other areas. So these updates are also being released anytime now. So keep an eye out if you are a Microsoft Viva Insights user. Keep an eye on those if you think that will be beneficial for you or your organisation to use. Okay, so we've breezed through the updates that we've had from Microsoft this month. As I say, it's been summer, it's been slightly more quiet, but I think a lot of those will be useful, and I'll definitely be implementing those as soon as they're available to us. I just wanted to quickly talk to you about the Bedrock Security Review Workshop that we run as well, which helps you to get the most out of your cybersecurity investment. So this is a one-day interactive workshop where you'll work with one of the Bedrock technical team to analyse the security features that you already have in place and find any gaps where attackers can still find a way in. So in a similar way to what these webinars do to make sure that you're getting the most out of Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Teams, this interactive workshop will also make sure that you're getting the most value out of the investment you've made in your security. With this workshop, you will discover how you could be duplicating investment in cybersecurity tools that are doing the same job. So we've encountered many people who are using different firewalls, different web defender programs that are all basically doing the same thing and doubling that investment. Check that you're meeting requirements for your cyber insurance policy. Many won't pay out if you haven't monitored and managed your cybersecurity properly. That's a little loophole that they use that you need to be aware of if you're investing a lot of money into your cyber insurance policies for your business. And you can also find out where the cracks are in your technology environment that leave you open to attack. So our technology experts will look at your entire IT environment and see where you could be vulnerable. We have a limited number of spaces opening up for these each month, so look out for more details or get in touch if you think this could be a benefit to your organisation and you'd like to take part. Hey, we have quite a bit of time now for some Q&A. If anyone has any questions that you think you'd want to ask today. Oh, the security review workshop, Christopher asks, do you have a link to the security review workshop? I will send you some details if that's okay, Christopher. If you could just message me your email address, we won't publish that, and I will email it over to you. Andy asks, great information here. Where can we get Viva Insights, please? So it's an additional feature to as part of licensing for Microsoft 365. Again, if you'd like more information about setting that up within your organisation, we'd be happy to help. We can manage that for you. Just send us an email. My email address is jennifer.benge@bedrock.co.uk. You can send that over, any questions that you have sort of now or following up from this webinar. We can send any information to you. I would say as well, we are going to send out the notes, the fact sheet and the recording from this webinar later today. So you will receive my email address then as well. So you'll get all the information that you might need, and you can also reply directly to that email to find out anything else or ask any further questions you might have, and that will come straight to me. Okay. Let's give a little bit more time just in case anyone else has got any questions they'd like to cover. In the meantime, I will let you know about our next What's New webinar, which will be taking place in October. For that one, we'll be taking a look at, again, the latest new releases from Microsoft, and that will take place on the 6th of October. So Cara will publish the link for that now, so you can sign up straight away if you want to attend the October webinar. And we will look forward to seeing you there. Yeah, like I say, if anyone has any questions or queries or would like to know more about implementing any of the topics we've covered today, please do feel free to reply to the email I'm going to send you with the recording. And I look forward to seeing you again in October. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you again soon.